Welcome back. It is a fantastic damn Friday here at the LCO. 2 big upset victories already. And is there going to be a third? Can Mammoth get another win on the board? Last time Legacy and Mammoth went head-to-head, Legacy took the cake. And is it their time to maybe get a 2-0 over a team, you know, get another win on the board? And are we going to see Cat? That's the real big question that I would like to see answered, because I just want to see it let through. It's the last bloody game day. We're not going to see any more Legacy after this for Split 1. Let it through. Let it through, Jubes.
You could just tune into Incursio's stream. He's got plenty of Katarina in there. I don't know why I plugged his stream and not mine, but anyway. No, like, look, well, it's an ego thing. It's always an ego thing, like, when it comes to banning his Katarina. Do you want to let it through? Do you want to beat the guy on his Katarina? Like, what do you want to do? And, you know, most teams, often than not, don't opt in for that type of matchup. So maybe I think it's fair to say we won't be seeing that one today.
Okay, well, I still hope we do, even though we aren't going to... Like, I know we're not going to see it, but I just bloody hope we're going to see it. And look, that's our thoughts on the situation. But at the same time, you know, we want to hear some other people's thoughts as well. And those people are the players, because the players are people too.
Hey guys, I'm Sybil and I'm the jungler for Legacy. I'm extremely unpredictable, and a lot of my playstyle I think revolves around like making sure the enemies can't do what they want to do, but also making sure that my teammates can do whatever they want to do.
My name's Incursio. I play for mid lane for Legacy, and I'm kind of crazy at Katarina, I'll be honest with you. This is actually my first year actually playing pro at all. I was a cat one trick. I didn't like playing that many other champions, right? As soon as Faker made that play when I was like 12, I'm not gonna lie, I just became an assassin player and I never looked back. He just inspired me, you know? I needed to learn other champions to like be able to play as a pro, and that's what I decided to do at the start of maybe last year. Decided to start playing new champions and try learning more fundamentals.
I feel like I've been playing a lot better than I have in the past. I feel like I've been able to come out of my shell a lot more, especially if you're following me on Twitter, you would have noticed that. If I had to describe my team in 3 words, it would probably be solo queue players.
Speaking of, Winter jumps into the backline, 1v5, Dominant's active, doing whatever he can to be downright disgusting and dirty. It's a double kill so far here for Style. He gets exhausted.
All the time we do slip into a solo queue mindset.
I'm unpredictable for the enemy, but for my teammates as well, and that can be a problem. But
who feeds the most of my team? Probably Incursio.
Probably me, to be honest. Me or Sybil, one or the other, because we both play aggressive. Playing aggressive is really rewarding. If you do make it work early game, I think it's really good.
That's where we thrive as a team, and I think that's sort of the identity that we've carved for ourselves.
one thing I want to achieve in the LCO this split is to beat a team in 20 minutes. I just want the team to be known as like the aggressive team, where like you cannot relax against us.
The toughest team we've had to play so far would probably be the Direwolves, I'd say. I feel like they, at the start of the split, they were shaky, but like now that they've sort of stabilized, they're looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, Winterer, I'd probably say he's one to look out for. The thing is that top talent in OS is definitely kind of weaker. Vengeance is Orders jungler. He doesn't play the game much, but he's been high ranked for years, so he's definitely someone to look out for.
I am also scared of Chiefs, because their roster lineup's kind of nuts, I'm not gonna lie. I like versing people that are better than me, so I can like prove that I can compete against them, you know what I mean?
And Curzio and even Styled, I think they're all good carries in their own right, so I don't think there will be too much pressure on me to like be the carry of the team or anything. Like, there might be games where I can do that.
Please keep cheering for us, just so you can see more memes on Twitter. I try to post one every time we win.
I hope we get plenty of interest in the league. I think it'll be fun. I'll make sure it's fun. I'll make sure it's fun.
I hope you enjoy the content, the games, the pro games. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for the support.
Videos like that, it certainly makes you miss the fact that it's the last day we get to see Legacy. They've provided so much entertainment through the group stage of the split, you know, and you just love to see him. You know, you never know if you're going to get fake Curzio or int Curzio there, Sybil as well, you know, swapping him out with Why Not as well. That was such a, you know, a big change, and at the same time, it was so interesting because they have different jungle champ pools, so it really changed what the opponents had to deal with, Juice.
Yeah, just looking back at that replay, I'm pretty sure Maximize didn't want to see that one again. No, yeah, you're right. It's just like the interview there or the video that we just watched of them pretty much sums them up as a team, right? It's either Legacy are taking us to Iceland or Legacy are going to lose pretty fast, right? And it's a very volatile playstyle that they have, but it makes for an exciting viewing. Like every time they're playing, I don't care who they're versing, I'm excited to watch. Even against Mammoth, right? You're like, who are at the bottom of the table. I'm just super keen because like whatever Legacy turns up, there's going to be a game. Like,
that's it.
And can't wait for that one.
Look, and hopefully we do get a game today because Mammoth, you know, chickens up, tusks up, whatever you want to use. You know, they do have that chicken dip. They have Respect the Neck up in the top lane, and that man is insane. Jungle Man as well, he's been doing a pretty damn good job. You got Wei, Shyfrit, and Shinky down in the bot lane there with obviously Wei at mid. You know, who knows where he's going to go. He could roam to bot at some point. And he's been pulling out some questionable picks as well. So I want to see some more. Lilia the other day didn't quite work out for him, but Skimmy, what did work out for them?
Look, I mean, he gets the solo kill onto Kisei to start this game off with, but after that it goes so terribly wrong. Almost picks up the Yone Yasuo solo Q buff and tries to collect as many deaths as possible. It's a pick that we've seen overseas, and I like the fact that they're able to showcase we're willing to try new ideas and trying to catch people off guard, because we've seen even today, right, how strong that has been into like such a strong, stable meta where teams haven't scrimmed against it, what it could actually mean for the outcome overall. But I think for me, we've continued this narrative week on week and day on day that, you know, Mammoth are still looking to try and find their groove, find what comp or ideal works best for them, and there definitely have been moments worth celebrating for them. It's just that continued growth, much like the likes of Gravitas and so on, as to, you know, week 1 to 5, what does that bring into Split 2?
Well, someone that can check what weird wackiness Mammoth can bring to the server again today is, of course, Nat T, who herself is weird and wacky sometimes, but usually pretty A-OK. So how you doing on the side lanes? What's the weather like down there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. I'm glad that I can sometimes be weird and wacky, I think. But I think the weirdest and wackiest thing we've ever seen is Nectar's chicken. I don't know if he's got him with him this time, but we are going to grab Nectar for the pre-game interview, along with Melg from Legacy. Thank you both so much for joining me. Nectar, I want to ask, this is your last game for the Split 1, unfortunately. So what are you guys hoping to prove and bring to the matchup?
Definitely more stable gameplay this time. We've been focused on our laning phase, because we definitely there's not really any mid game with our current laning phases, so yeah.
Are you guys going to be going back to the weirder and wackier picks and not stick too much to the meta?
I'm not really sure. I feel like the draft kind of changes every week. No way, it's just like, oh, here's this champion, let's play it, and we're like, all right, we trust you. So yeah, who knows? I
love to hear it. Melg, how are you guys feeling? It's also going to be our last game that we see from you guys this split as well, but what are you hoping to prove and bring to the game?
Hopefully just domination, honestly. I feel like at the end of the day, we're a stronger team than Mammoth, and so hopefully we'll be able to prove that.
Are you guys also going to be looking for interesting picks as well, or are you just going to go in there hoping for the meta, hoping to just decimate?
Some discussion. There's been some discussion about it. Not too sure yet, honestly, but yeah, we'll just have to see when the game comes around.
I've been asking everyone, but Amelga, I have to know, is there a certain game or moment that's occurred in this split that just really sticks out to you as probably one of the best moments you've had?
It's probably I think there was a fight against PGG the first time we played against them in the river, and that was a really hype moment for us, where I think we got a pretty good wombo combo. Yeah, and considering that PGG were definitely the overwhelming favorites for that game, it felt good. Losing didn't feel as good, but that is what it is.
I mean, you got a good fight and you got a good moment from it. Nectar, what about you? What would you say has been your best game or moment that you've enjoyed?
Well, best game is probably the one when we got against Gravitas. I think that game definitely was a major reason why we won. You know, definitely got a lot of big ultis multiple times, especially the one at Herald. So that one turned the tides that game. But yeah.
That is going to be a moment you'll remember forever. But thank you both so much for joining me and for participating in Split 1, I guess. Good luck with the game, and I'll see one of you at the end. Oh yeah, of course it
I
will.
just want to say, it's been a rough split so far, but yeah, I've been having some trouble sleeping at night, so I did some renovations in my room.
Oh yeah,
If I
can't
can
wait.
get it set up.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yeah, and this has just been helping me a lot in the split, just to help our team improve. And yeah, I've already been seeing good results. So thank you, Tim.
Yeah, that's a view no one will ever forget. But thank you both so much, and good luck again. Where did this guy come from? I love it.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh my
What a man.
goodness.
What a
Why would-
bloody content churner.
He's
That-
the king.
That photo, like, if we're being honest, is a photo of nightmares.
Yeah, I don't know how it's helping him sleep, but you know what? Whatever, as they say, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Look, Juve, some people's idea of the Lord and Savior is carbon, as much as it hurts you to believe that. And then some people's idea of the latter is you, the Lord and Savior. So you go...
I was going to say, do you get the IRL version at your window, Skimmy?
Yeah, look, there's doors between us. Sometimes I'll walk out there and I'll see him, practicing some, voodoo chant to get the boys to dub. Other times I see him in the DMs with Juves popping off at each other and saying, "Oh, remember who won in playoffs?" I don't know, It's,
That's literally our DMs, by the way. Not even kidding. It's
that's
just
their conversation 101.
it's just perma-flaming each other and then asking why we can't be nice friends to each other. And it's like, because of playoffs, or because of this season. It just can't amend the friendship that has just been through so many defeats and victories.
It's gone too far.
I need to get your address. I need to come at some of these
Oh, for
rituals.
sure.
Especially, does he do them in the front yard or the backyard?
He gets it done in either yard, mate. He's just keen. Stubby in hand, we're punching on.
Oh, what a bloke. What a man that guy is. Anyway, let's move forward. We've got predictions. Let's have a quick look at these before we jump into Champ Select. Which way is everyone gone? I am respecting the neck max on 100-0. Let's keep it 100. The GOAT is here to stay. Let's see if it can go all the way to Dalmatians. 101 would be a great way to end the groups of Split 1. And Juves, looks like whatever you've done today, you've lost the 50 bomb. What's going on there?
I haven't done anything. It's the teams I put faith in that have done the damage.
Okay.
Where's Rusty in all this, by the way? Can I get some clarification? Like,
Rusty's the same as me. We're tied.
I think,
Oh,
yeah.
And we had the same predictions today, so.
That's disappointing. I'm not going to listen. He's not here. Can't defend himself, so that's fine.
Ooh.
Good on your Rusty. Good
What
happens.
about, could we get a quick update on Elfish Guys as well? Because Nat and Elfish Guy also had a bit of a
He's
rivalry.
2 ahead of me, and we picked the same
Oh.
today, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. I put it on Twitter, but I'll say it here. I did put in my predictions first, so anyone that was the same after me was definitely plagiarizing. Rusty and Elfish Guy.
Okay, so it looks like they've done that on purpose just to stay ahead. Understand that. Picking up what you're putting down. I'm eating what you're cooking, drinking what you're making, all the good stuff. Now, look, before we get into the game, they said, Nectar said there could be some weird and wacky things coming out. And I'm just looking for predictions in terms of what you think Way's playing today, because I'm really hoping to see a repeat of the Ziggs, but I feel like he might go a different route, Skimmy.
At this point, who knows what he'll play? He'll pretty much lock in anything mid and say, "I saw this happen in Korea or China. It's time to bring it out on stage." So I hope we don't see Lilia. Not that I haven't liked her. I find it actually quite exciting to see, champions that you may see in the jungle come into a laning situation. But I'd like to see him do something crazy once more and continue that be on brand, probably more than anything, Mac.
Okay, well, let's see which way Way sways as we do get into Champ Select. Final game of groups. Oh, it's been damn fun, and I guess, boys, we'll see you after the game.
Well, it's been 5 weeks in the making, Juves, and we're finally at the end. It does feel like time has flown by, but it's going to be a banger nonetheless, right? Closing things out here with Mammoth and Legacy, two teams that love to punch on. It's what's really made fans enjoy this matchup in particular, because you know that they're going to be aggressive. You know that there's going to be a lot of action before the 15-minute mark, and we might expect to see it again with the fresh locked in.
Now, imagine tuning into a broadcast from another region that you've never heard of before, or potentially never heard of. You don't know the slang, you don't know what they say, And then you just hear before the draft starts, they're going to punch on.
They're going to get it
And
done.
then you
Absolutely, mate.
then you just start to process, okay, what have I tuned into? Let me check the category. Let me check the category on Twitch that I'm in. I didn't know there was a boxing segment. But no, this is League of Legends, and the term punch on in the Oceanic region derives from having a good old skirmy, a good battle in the river.
Tusks up versus fists up. You know, they're basically creating hashtags out of thin air and showing that, you know, we're all about the action so far. We're going to showcase what we can do. You lock in the fresh. We're going to go straight for the Bruiser Boys and go with Nautilus as well as the Scion. And Katarina has this time been banned away in the first rotation. I was wondering, given the last 2 games, teams had only banned it in the second half, whether or not we'd find ourselves to close out LCO Split 1 with a Katarina game.
Yeah, look, honestly, Mammoth, come on, give the people what they want. That's that type of behaviour. I don't know. Might have to have a word with them after that.
Oh, there's the Nocturne.
Nocturne draft,
we've seen that can be flexed. We've seen Way player in the mid lane. We haven't seen him play in the jungle, I don't believe. But that does give yourselves a situation now, especially with Karthus locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, Karthus was originally a mid laner.
Yeah, it's double flex, but you'd feel more comfortable in putting the Nocturne mid and the Karthus jungle, just because there's so many volatile Karthus matchups, and the problem with this double flex is like you don't get the counter pick. You do, but you don't, right? Like it's a flex, so you can just end up swapping to the better matchup, but they can also pick a champion that they feel comfortable beats both, right? Or if you don't want to lane against the Karthus mid, you can draft something that will beat the Karthus and deal with the Nocturne. So we'll have to see what Legacy figure out or what they want to play, but I like Legacy's draft so far. They have a pretty reliable front line. Nautilus into Thresh, bit of a meh. Kai'Sa bot lane, and Sion in the top lane. And we saw what Sion could do last game. Probably a big reason why Order won the game. So yeah, Sion for me, big S tier pick at the moment.
The GP ban is good because we've seen the components of what Mammoth are building here happen before. They did it into Gravitas with the GP top with the Bard support, a full global composition if you date your mind back to week 4. So the GP ban is going to look to try and counter that one out. Jarvan, not one of your go-to junglers right now, but given that Legacy have this tendency to be in your face, and Sybil loves to showcase that. He's been one of the only junglers that have rock and roll with the Jarvan.
Yeah, and he had good effect with it, right? I'm pretty sure that they won the game at the that he locked in the Jarvan. Had a quite impactful performance, so fair enough taking that one away. Now I wonder with all of this scaling, right? I wonder if Legacy just opt in for something that bridges the gap, in particular the Elise. So Elise, not necessarily a good matchup into Karthus because you do get outscaled quite quickly. However, you can influence lanes. You can influence the lanes while Karthus is farming and just trying to farm up a storm. So potentially that's something that Sybil's going to lock in for his last game of the split, right? You know, that is his bread and butter, something that he really loves. And
there it is.
Yeah, you do have the scaling fallback of the Kai'Sa, of the Sion, and potentially what Incursio is going to lock in the mid lane.
And how much did we hype this up, right? When the LCO first started, we sort of liked the Lilia and how he was posturing very aggressively in the jungle, waiting for those face checks. Really caters the idea of what Elise wants to do. Wants to get in your face, wants to zone you out and cause panic. Another game and another Vayne. That's 3 games in a row right now. Forget about the Zarya, Kai'Sa meta. It's all about making sure we can all have our moment to pop off as if we are Uzi back in 2018.
And everyone's, why is everyone opting in for the Vayne today? Today is just Vayne. Like, we probably got the most Vayne picks in the world, to be honest, just purely based off today. And it's going to be a Nah locked in. A Mumu hover there. Shinky was trying to get us with that one, but nevertheless, here we are. And another Mumu hover, so, you know, Mumu probably flavor of the month. Maybe some buffs incoming. That's why teams are hovering that one. Nevertheless.
Incursio ends it with a Zez. Perfect.
Look, I don't mind it, because even though you're up against a Nocturne mid, you do have the level 6 threat. You can just leave mid lane, find Karthus in the jungle, and there's no counterplay. You just get one shot.
Yeah.
Now, the saving grace for that is that Nocturne ultimate is global, so at the very least, you should be able to trade back. But the thing I want to keep my eyes on is how Sybil and Incursio work together to influence bot lane. Because that's the lane they need to get ahead. They need to get styled ahead to then have like a really big 1v9 performance. Because again, their damage is quite linear in the sense that, you know, Zed's only got one way to do damage. Elise's damage, the way that Elise does damage falls off in the sense that once laning phase finishes, it's all groups. Elise doesn't really want to be in a group. wants to participate in more of that chaotic skirmish style river jungle fights. So yeah, both compositions I like for nameplates, in the sense that that composition really suits Mammoth, that composition really suits Legacy, and we get to see the best of both worlds. We get to see almost the best compositions drafted for each other.
Yeah. So then break it down to me, right? In terms of win conditions that we're looking at, we're talking about how Elise and Zed want to get off to a flying start, that you want to have that bot lane, able to keep Vayne, a full item behind so that he can't just scale into team fights and suddenly take over and say, forget about the first 15 minutes, delete the evidence. Are we looking at a situation right now where they want to really have that strong start with maybe a 5k lead, translate into lots of turrets, lots of vision, lots of ability to stay dispersed so they can continue to find those picks, whereas Mammoth quite happy just to go even, rock up to a team fight and be given an invitation to pop off?
Yeah, hit the nail on the head. Mammoth are very, 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 very happy to just hit level 6 and level 6 and beyond, right? They're happy to just nothing happens. Even level 11, if they had a neutral game at level 11, I'm pretty sure they'd be happy as well.
Yeah.
The Vayne's going to have those items, Nocturne's going to have 1 to 2 items, Karthus 1 to 2 items, and then that next team fight is just an absolute cleanup. You have to feel that the pressure is on Legacy just that little bit more, because whilst you have the front line of a Scion, depending on the game state, depending on Vayne's state, if you will, that also means the Scion isn't going to be an object, right? If the Vayne's ahead, the Scion's just a walking health bar. So we'll have to wait and see if Legacy are able. And you know what's funny, Skimmy? We think back to the interview that we just watched on Legacy and the statements they were making around how they want to play the game, how they see themselves as players. I couldn't think of a more Legacy composition.
100%. I mean, how many times do we see at the start of the LCO they would find themselves up against some really good, strong opponents, challenging, early game completely in their favor. It's the mid game, the stumbles that happen there that would, ultimately be their downfall. And as for Mammoth as well, we've seen situations where they've been able to show up big time, but it's just the consistency. And that seems to be the biggest theme between these two teams as to where they're at right now. It has been that consistency. And we talk about top side of the bracket, especially the teams that find themselves in the playoffs, how close that gap is. But I'm very curious also down at the bottom half of the ladder as well, exactly what that gap looks like in terms of skill ceiling as to, where we might see these teams with time, practice, and experience grow into.
Look, obviously, ideal world, Mammoth win the game, right? If you're a Mammoth fan, you just win the game. It can be close, it can be easy, it can be fast, whatever. Doesn't matter. As long as you get the win, you start to think, okay, we're on the right track for Split 2. Let's use this win as consolidation. Like, this is the roster we're going with. Everything's all good. We've learned a lot, but I think it is a very big game for Mammoth in that sense, right? They need to, they would want to show that they're at least competing with Legacy, or maybe next split they're going to sneak into that last playoff spot. So I think there is a little bit on the line, even though, statistically or standings-wise there isn't. And that's the Cocoon start for Sybil, so his jungle clear is going to be quite painful. Might have to get a leash from the bot lane now.
Looks like it might be the case. And as we get ourselves in for the final game of the regular split, we do have a final coaching interview with the coach of Legacy in series. Welcome back.
Thank you, Skimmy.
I want to start off first of all and say, been a really exciting team to watch. We've seen from our time talking on the air how it's been integrating players from a solo queue environment, giving them their comfort champions, and at times it's looked a little bit questionable. We've wondered, what's the big 5-head tech behind this one? But are you happy, 5 weeks on now, coming to the end, are you happy with the progress made?
Yeah, I am pretty happy with the progress made, honestly. I think that the split break will be much needed for us, especially in regards to developing a competitive champion pool. As you so aptly pointed out, a lot of times we're pigeonholed into doing just different things. Is one way to put it, based on the fact that people have had really not that much time to come in and practice, and then the split is so short and condensed. So yeah, we've had to adapt, obviously, for better or for worse. Sometimes it does look good, and like you said, we get really good early leads, and other times we just get melted. And maintaining some kind of consistency there will go a long way for us.
And talk to me a little bit about that, right? We've obviously been harping on in recent days about how the playoffs race looks so exciting and sort of the gap between all the teams in the top 5. But when you look at this one, do you put a lot of pressure and say, look, let's close out the season with a dub and showcase that we are the best of the rest?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of pressure there in that sense. I would think that it's more important that we're able to get a dub while playing the style that we want to, even going down into the future, right? So we want to focus on having a like some kind of direction for our team to follow through, even if it means that, so for example, we play like an early chaotic style with a lot of emphasis on playing around mid lane assassins and things like that. As long as the team has some direction, we're able to win with that style. It's more meaningful than just getting a win at all.
And then talk to me, in terms of style, obviously it seems to be a pretty definitive one. A lot of the time it has been about acquiring as many of those early game leads as possible with some of those unique champions, like the likes of Elise, for Sybil, the Incursio Zed. Has that been, I suppose, given the nature of how the meta has been so locked in, it's been quite fun and freeing to say we've got all these options to play around with?
Yeah, the meta, that's the thing, right? It's because the meta is the meta because it's strong. Inherently, and so when you're playing off-meta picks, it's very much because the individuals have to be that much better at them in order to make it work. By default, whatever is meta is going to not only be strong, but usually easier to execute as well. They go hand in hand. So I wouldn't say that it's freeing in that sense. If anything, it adds a lot more pressure and it's a lot more stressful. But being able to deviate at the very least and do something that people don't expect definitely has its advantages as well, right? Oftentimes people don't know how to play around it. That's why, especially towards the start of the split, you might see a lot of like really, really strange early and mid games. There's a lot of kind of power in the unexpected.
And then before we jump back into the game, I just want to leave the floor open to yourself. If there's anything you wanted to say to any of the fans at home watching.
Yeah, just thanks to everybody who supported us this split. Obviously, this is a far cry from what Legacy was last year, but we believe that we have the building blocks and soon we'll have the time needed to get us back to where we were. I think that you can expect great things from us next split, for sure.
Well, I appreciate your time as always there, Series, and wish you guys the best of luck, and no doubt we'll catch up soon.
Yep, thanks.
All right, Juves. Well, as much as we were having a good chin wag over there, there's been a bit of action on the map. 4 minutes and 4 kills.
Yeah, this is absolutely why Sybil's Elise is so frustrating to play against. I mean, he's down 2 levels in the jungle matchup, but it doesn't matter. And so when you were doing the interview on the back end, they previously butchered a dive in the bot side. TP came through from Nectar to deny that one, and they pick up 2 kills here. Nice kill from ML, good target prioritization, and this is just the prowess on Elise, right? Being able to do that. Most other Elises maybe opt in for another melee range auto attack, trade 1-for-1 there, but he's able to just get on out, know his cooldowns, know his timings, and yeah, 2 levels down. So it isn't all for, it's not like Mammoth haven't got anything on the return, right? You have a Karthus that's now pretty accelerated, uninterrupted, going to hit an early level 6. So we'll have to see what Mammoth can do at level 6 to, if anything, negate what Sybil's done in the bot side of the map so far.
So in terms of trading, XP, as you say, would be in the favor here for Jungle Man, but it does mean that Legacy have at least locked down this part of the map and put the Vayne behind, which is something that we wanted to see, a bit of pressure put towards it so that, it has a tough laning phase and it will fall into a situation of, 15 minutes onwards. Skirmish is not looking too desirable, not wanting to go for those fights because the item difference too big. Does mean, though, that Legacy can look to try and pick up this first Dragon if it decides to play nicely. Gets Leash back in, but still no pressure going against him, so should be an easy pickup.
Oh my goodness, it's taken so long though. Like, that was just an, that's a genuine 2.5 level lead now. You know what I mean? Like, was the dragon even worth it? I guess if your plan is to stack dragons up, sure, but at a certain point, it's going to be hard to team fight in river when your jungle is level 4, or 2 levels down rather. And like, Jungman's done a very good job of pretty much clearing his bot side camp. So there's really nothing on the map for Sybil to do except play for kills. Now, if that's offered to him in the mid lane, then yeah, which it is. And okay, that's like a get out of jail free card, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that Sybil had nothing to do on the map. His camps were respawning shortly. The only thing he could do is opt in for a kill in a lane, in which he was able to pick up. So Wei's now at a very big deficit, and Incursio is going to be quite a scary man.
And it's so crazy to me, as you say, right? The fact that Jungle Man knows exactly what his opposition is trying to do, farm these waves, farm these ganks and be aggressive on the elites because he needs to, find that, big lead to start this game off with. The fact that he's able to be bailed out in mid lane gives the kill across the Zed. Also worth noting, Juves, quickly, that it is a Karthus with no flash. He's running Exhaust.
Exhaust, yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind that in volatile matchups and assassin matchups in the mid lane. If you can get away without having the flash saw. I do think Karthuses run into the problem sometimes of like, it's very easy to fall into the trap of this is what my champion must do to win, therefore this is all I'm doing. And what I mean by that is you're playing Karthus, and putting jungle on cooldown is extremely important, right? No denying that. And Elise might be caught if Nocturne wants to pull the trigger. They know she has no flash. They opt out. Incursio though.
He's hunting, isn't he? He's definitely looking to say, don't just be free running into our jungle. It is still a 2-level gap between the junglers, but it is now a Melg that goes diving and just soaks up the turret. It looked to me as if they're trying to find more after getting a plate, but Shyfrip, you know, absorbs the ignite and stays alive.
Yeah, as we'll touch on bot lane in a second, but Jungman doesn't have much mana. Unless he dies here, I might not be able to participate in the fight, but doesn't look like it's going to be a contest coming out. The thing I wanted to say was, like, Jungman, nothing in this game so far is his fault, right? In terms of mid lane dying. However, I would like to see him start to participate. Start to pop your head into a lane, look for a lane gank. You have a Thresh, you have a lot of CC to set up ganks. Put a wall down, start getting active. Because, you know, with the current trajectory of the game, if Sybil is going to be able to get a few more kills like this, it's going to be quite tough, you know, come mid-game. So, just want to see some presence from him. Again, he is the Karthus, does need to put camps on cooldown.
Yeah.
But just let people know you're there. Let them know that you're a Karthus, but you're not afraid to say g'day and put yourself up for a skirmish.
And it does feel like such a weird complex to have, right? The fact that Sybil is ganking on repeat, you can see it from his scoreline so far, but lagging behind in the camp clear as a result, where Jungman's like, well, I'll just continue to farm and try and win this game on my own. But it is meaning that Legacy are playing very aggressive, knowing they're at no risk of a gank.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing, right? Like, you know, Mammoth bot lane got a kill in the 2v2 there. ML under tower, misplay, outplay, whatever you want to label it, but they still up CS in the bot side, right? And they're playing under tower. So just give them another dynamic to think about, because at the moment, all they're thinking about is laning and outplaying their opponent. Whereas on the other side of that, Mammoth are just playing safe. They're like, all right, well, we got to let waves come under tower because this Elise is an absolute madman.
Merman down 30 CS at the moment, but we'll have to see what that actually translates into as we hit the 10-minute mark. He's gone for the Predator, and the Sork boots are there to rock and roll with. Still has the Herald, so that has been the trade of farm for ganks that result in objectives. And it is going to be that trading of power, which will ultimately be in question as we start to see those first skirmishes come underway. Top side, nothing too exciting there. Pretty much even between the two of them, with Nectar farming up the grasp and Winter trying to be as much of a nuisance as possible with the Icy Touch. But as for bot lane, I suppose as much as you talk about how Sybil bailed out in the mid lane with Incursio, Shyfrip getting that kill, taking down a Melg, had a situation to play around with too.
That's better. That's better from Jungman, right? Bit of presence, like sitting behind his mid laner this time, able to deny that gank, because I'm fairly certain if Jungman didn't show Envision there, Sybil might look for the dive there. But Herald goes down. Don't mind the Herald mid there. You want all the gold onto the Zed. The Zed is something that needs to snowball. Now this is the problem, right? When you get priority like they did in the mid lane, your bot lane then comes under threat, right? So Shyfrip and Chinky need to decide, like, what are they going to do here? Do they stand the tower? And there's going to be an all-in here.
It's looking like it, but Jungman continues to hover mid side, offering protection to the Nocturne. Between the double globals, making sure that if he does go for the all-in, they can turn the switch off. Your screen goes dark. You have no idea if you're winning that fight or not. But what's worth noting, Jubes, is that second dragon is here again, and because Legacy are the ones being proactive, it's them that get to deploy to it first.
I almost feel like this is a dragon you don't need to give. Like, they could fight this if they knew what was happening. I don't think they were aware, though, right? Like, Incursio was chunked out under tower. Wei has priority. You have the Nocturne ultimate to cheat tempo. The Karthus ultimate can come down too. I definitely think that's a window gone missing. And again, like I said, sometimes you can fall in the trap of thinking that you're scaling, right? But because you're scaling doesn't mean you can't take fights. You look at itemization, right? It's only 300 lead. That's a dagger. That's not going to win you a skirmish, right? And if it does, then, oh well, you know, next split. But
save it to another moment. I mean, you talked about it in the pre-game going into this one, right? You know, keeping this game even as close as you can. Come 6, even come 11. You know, we're starting to hit those later stages. Level 9 now, found here for Wei's Nocturne. That gold lead isn't huge, and I suppose to, you know, play your point, if it wasn't then, looking to try and keep this gold lead locked in place before that next fight.
Yeah, and I mean, they've done a good job in stabilizing, right? Like, Sybil started hot, you know, got the few kills early, and then he's kind of pivoted into more of like the farming. He's like, hey guys, you know, I am down 2 levels. I've got to make sure this doesn't get out of hand. And so the game has stabilized. It has slowed down a little bit. Even the Roof Herald in itself stabilized the game. You know, maybe that we thought with the Elise, 1 kill turns into a turret. However, Mammoth are probably happy with game state, all things considered. The dangerous thing is this mid lane getting out of hand because Wei might be in trouble.
Looking for the all-in. Here's the repel to start things off with, waiting for the cocoon to connect. Spellshoot went at it preemptively. They better. It doesn't seem to matter. The ultimate, it was overkill, quite honestly, there, Jubes, but the 2v1 collapse is enough to ensure that he falls down.
And also, this is the final turret plate going over to Zed. In all honesty, might be the tower, depending on what Thresh can do. Nice trade here from Winterer.
Definitely promoting this idea, aren't they, of having priority in all 3 lanes, make it very difficult for jungle. And we've yet to see the ultimate, the Requiem, be used.
Yeah.
I suppose there's 2 different angles you'd look at predominantly, right? The lane gank with the death wall, or the ultimate to say that, hey, you're winning a trade. I'll add this into the mix.
But this is what I'm talking about, right? It's you're playing Karthus, and again, I totally understand you need a farm, but you can create those windows of opportunity too, right? Like you walk into a lane, land a couple Skittles, all of a sudden they might be in ulti range, right? Or just generate, like, because at the moment it's just been top to bot, top to bot, top to bot pathing. And again, nothing okay with it if game state permits, but I really do feel like the mid lane needs some help, or you need to go somewhere else and generate some pressure there, because like his bot lane has prio, nothing wrong with a lane gank, nothing wrong with a flash flay. You have the Nocturne to cheat tempo to come assist in that too, so again, Jungman's doing fine, but just let's show me something. Show me a little bit of activity.
Well, that's what we're keen to see, because if you keep checking this mini-map, anytime that mid-wave is pushed, you can see Incursio parving towards bot side to say, maybe I can look to go for a fight of our own terms as well. If this Karthus refuses to be a menace, if he's looking to try and keep tempo with his laners in terms of farm clear, then maybe we'll force the reaction out of our opposition as Sybil. I'm going to clear out some of that vision. Knowing that the wave is crashing, maybe looking to try and revisit. Incursio once again down here. Preemptive Lantern to disengage away. It would be a 4v2, but this will zone him away to get as much damage done to this first turret.
Here we go, another one.
Here we do go. And Mel's going to take the world and more. There's a good stopwatch. She might come out just the Requiem props. It doesn't matter. But then the turret shot afterwards. It's Nectar that secures the kill. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Nectar may just be able to run them down right now. Very close to Mega. Would have the ultimate to try and go for this 1v2. Getting dropped down quite low, but the health would have been enough to maybe consider that further. But he has the spidey senses, and he knows that Incursio must be on the hunt. It's the paranoia, but they're ganking topside rather than bot. So a cross-map play happening here, Jukes. And Jungleman trying to run him down with a double buff. The wall was out there. Hitting the side step, taking the aggro, and it eventually does fall on down.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if that's worth, in the sense that look what you're losing bot side of the map now. I mean, also Sion traded. I mean, Wei's just not having a good game, and we don't know what happened. I'm not sure how he fell down on top side of the map, but he didn't. You lose turret, you lose farm, you lose another kill, and it's just playing the wrong game, playing on the wrong side of the map, using your resources in the wrong lane, because being completely honest, Shyfred and Shinky, they haven't done a bad job, right? In terms of a couple times now, they've traded kills onto ML and Styled, or at least 1 kill onto ML, and they've done enough to stall time, but the Nocturne's not down there with the ultimate. The Karthus is on the other side of the map doing the Herald, and you have to say that it's kind of just like everyone's fighting their own battles, and it's never Mammoth fighting their battle together, in the early game at least.
Yeah. It feels, and I suppose maybe fitting to the nature of this development squad, right? That they have, come into their first rookie split. A lot of them have that solo queue experience. It starts off, first of all, with Mel just not caring about his own life bar, just jumps in, says, I'll soak it up as long as you guys can get the kills.
Yeah. Shyfred probably took a little bit too much damage there. You know, if you ask him again, maybe he plays this one a little bit better, but here, good TP coming on through from Nectar, but I mean, Wei used his teleport, I believe, to get back to mid lane. Then he started walking topside to make up for the teleport, right? Like, he's just going to eat top farm. But you have to say that's a mistake. Could have walked down to the bot side, assisted into the play that was then the teleport, because you probably pick up 2 more kills there if you're being honest. Then they just don't know what to do here. Do you want to leave tower, stay under tower, and one leaves, one stays under, and then Nectar ultimately falls down. Probably does a little bit more damage than I expected too, but I think Incursio is at that point of almost no return, right?
It just shows you how fit he is.
Yeah.
He's just so insanely strong, up by 40 CS, 3 kills to his name, all those turret plates injected into him as well. Still yet to know how Wei died. Only, I suppose we can imagine, is that the afterclone of Winter just ran him down. But it's just, you know, cross-map plays that, I mean, you're one to always advocate about it. Cross-map plays, but, you know, always trying to find advantages in your own favor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we go.
Okay. Here we go. Fake Curcio going for the 1v3, juking out a few ultimates, hits the exhaust. Okay, fancy feat. Oh no, 2 turret shots. And gift wraps that kill across the jungle, man.
That's huge, by the way. That's a huge kill, but again, cross-map. No respect.
They just don't care. It's all on like Donkey Kong, showcasing what they can do. He's mega. He's already popped the ultimate. He's not going to try and buy as much time for this Requiem to land. It's Mark. Ah, no. Sybil, so deceptively strong, survives that one.
Yeah, Jungman, though, like, the way I look at those ultimates, right, the Karthus ult trying to assist is, he's still got the Dark Harvest proc, okay? Like, you know, worst case scenario or whatever, makes him a little bit stronger. But again, just a little bit of a lack of discipline, right? Cross-map play being made on one side, really good pick up the shutdown onto Zed. But, you know, for all the hard work that was done bot side, we just traded it back with Nectar giving a kill over, so... Need to have a little more discipline, I guess.
Speaking of, they have managed to find themselves in a position where they can clear out all the vision, lay down their own, guarantee that Wei can take down this turret and find a little bit of reprieve. It's not been a good game for him so far. He definitely has been the punching bag for Legacy. Multiple ganks going his way. We might be looking at another one as Winter TP's down bot side, says hello to him. It's a 1v3 collapse again. Incursio returning to the scene of the crime where he fell down. But he wants to be the one laying down the law this time. The flash goes away. Lots of mobility here for Legacy. And Sybil hit quite low as a result. He's already used that flash. There it is.
Here we go.
And is the paranoia going to find its mark right now? He's jumped in. Big shields as a result. That's huge. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 so far. Incursio once again the recipient of that exhaust, proving to really try and lay down his pressure. He finds himself a double. He's looking for the triple. There it is. And now can he get himself the clean quadra kill? Is this literally Incursio's game to play? Oh no. He falls down to Empowered Flay. And Shinky is the Dream Breaker.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a fake Curcio moment, right? The one that we talk about. And they managed to pick up the inhibitor in mid lane too, an inhibitor turret. Probably a good thing that they didn't pick up the actual inhibitor because, you know, pretty neutral game, pretty even game. Not much to play for at the moment. So... don't want to give away that gold, but here's the replay again. It's just what, like, it's almost like a game plan, right? They're just consistently attacking Wei, and sometimes you just got to cut your losses. You know, Wei's potentially going to fall down here. The Lantern does end up saving him, and enough is enough, right? Like, you're okay with the game state. You're not too far behind. You're not too big of a deficit. He survives, and they ultimately opt in for the fight here. They opt in for the secondary engage, and I mean, those shields that came through were quite crazy. But watch Shyfred on the back end here. Maybe gets a little bit too carried away. Gets Zed ulted, keeps walking forward. Nice exhaust, but when you have a Zed ult spinning around on your head, you can't just walk past with the exhaust on, right? Like, you have to address one problem at a time. So just probably misplayed a little bit on a micro level. But Legacy in a very good position now.
Certainly in a pretty good position. In terms of gold leads, we talked about it about 10 minutes ago, I'd say, about how close it was. 1K in favour here for Legacy. They're going to look to try and force that fight once again at the 21-minute mark. Wei just jumps into the fight, looking to try and congratulate the rest of his team in a team fight win. They're going to start off with that win as they find Nectar getting the kill, but it is Incursio once again. It's so ridiculously strong, so much lethality, and just ripping through the ranks here of Mammoth. But it looks like their team are losing so far as Winter's set to the afterlife. 2 members low, Wei and Jungle Man somehow surviving. Shinky being the punching bag here for the aftermath of it all. And Emelg, ever the man to flirt with danger, is forced to back away as well. So a Mammoth fight that they start on their terms, and they do convincingly win.
Yeah, they're just, the Karthus just turbo 1v9 there. Just landing Skittle after Skittle, fighting on his Defile, has the Leandries, and they're just not able to do anything, and they lose Soul there. I mean, they lose Soul Point, rather, right? Like, you know, they set up properly there. They don't get caught on the mid wave, and this was a good pull of the trigger. And this is what Mammoth's comp does, and they should have been doing this a lot earlier into the game. This time they picked the right target. Wei doesn't fall down somehow. He's able to just get out of that one, and ultimately you're playing that fight without an AD carry. And then watch Karthus here. Just uninterrupted on the back end. Sure, he gets Z ulted. The exhaust is really good though. Doesn't die down to it and just doing so much damage on the back end.
It's crazy to me how, as you say, the CC and the Summoners more than anything, I think every single fight we've had in Incursio has been exhausted. He's had his impact really, really removed, you know, especially given how much gold has gone his way. Hold that for a second as Melg is angered by the fact that they had to lose that soul point and will put all his attention towards the top side. But maybe there's that brief window. I say that. Shinky's got his exhaust up, so I don't think Incursio is ever going to have fun.
Well, that's why Assassins kind of fell out of meta too, right? Is because they did buff exhaust, and then everyone started taking exhaust, and now everyone does take exhaust, and so Sybil
hits the light switch. Everything goes dark. He's fleeing. He's up in the air. He's not having any fun up there. He's going to fall on down. It's another shutdown, and a rare moment for Wei to show up here and showcase, stop bullying me. I want to be the one, and he certainly has been in these last two fights.
Yeah, and this is the well, I might hold that. Wow.
That's a big amount of damage. I don't think the Void Seeker connected, so the Killer Instinct can't be used here from Style. He has red buffs who can output a ton of damage. Schifred actually takes it in Incursio first of all. Winterer. It's the knock up, but Schifred untouched, and this is exactly what Vayne's thrive in, taking 1v1s all over the show. There's the double kill. Another kill off the back foot of it. Schifred still with the ultimate running, goes for the 1v1 between the two AD carries. The shield is there. The mitigation is enough. Star managed to take him out and break up the party that Mammoth were trying to put together, and just like that, Jubes, the gold lead is dead even at 24 minutes.
Yeah, dead even, and it's just coming down to team fight execution. The problem there was Legacy weren't able to kite that fight away from the Karthus Corp, so a little bit of a wasted Z ultimate. If we get the replay, you'll see Z ulted a dead target, right? Karthus ultimately ended up falling down, so the death mark didn't get a big pop of damage, and I think that's what really ended up costing them there. So again, really good team fight from Mammoth, and we're starting to see them use their composition, and we're starting to see the eagerness and over-aggressive nature of Legacy, right? They're really just forcing fights or getting caught being aggressive and not respecting. Like, look at the three members. Sion, Kai'Sa, and Nautilus are all on mid-wave, and Incursio and Sybil are just getting caught on top side. Now here's where we see the wasted Z ultimate that I think really just pivots the fight in the favor of Mammoth, because initially that's a really good bit of damage, but then Karthus goes down, and so the death mark doesn't really do anything. And then it's just pretty much clinical from here. Style can't hit, he's not able to hit anything, right? He's just, look, he's just running away, can't hit, team's dead. And he's really lucky that they traded out on Trifrid here, because that's probably a Baron that goes down if he's still alive.
It's what you want to see from this composition. Maybe 10 minutes ago, looking to try and contest.
Again.
Back to back, to do it on repeat. The double ultimate looking to try and be as clutch as it can be. Nice stopwatch there.
Yeah.
And if he can get the lantern out for safety.
Flay.
Winter on a flanking angle, trying to do whatever he can. Actually just going to get ripped apart very low into the afterlife he's sent. Another dragon spawning in a minute 30. But Sybil on the flanking angle and Incursio not there as well. Just unable to respond.
Yeah, that's a very good flay there. Oh, and he lands the hook. And that's another dead member.
Do they take out Melg? Both supports taking so much damage. Shinky somehow, some way managed to survive. He's got 1 HP. There shouldn't have been that possibility. Legacy aren't done yet though. No, this is so risky. It's a one-man ult onto Sybil. Just gone, just dead. Now can Incursio go for the 1v4 situation. Gonna dart himself out, wait for the exhaust to wear off, flashing away, looking to try and jump back in. Does he have the option to do so? He's already bent the death mark. I think he's going to be quite content running into the safety of his AD carry.
Well, did we just witness that Z play there? And the TP's coming on through. We're not done yet.
You can't read the tempo of this game, Juves.
I mean, that was clean from Incursio. Nice little outplay there. There's a reason we call him Fake Curcio, because he's either Faker or he's Faker.
A fake Curcio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, actually.
There you go.
That's why you're the brains, and I'm the...
I had to help you out there, mate. I knew what you were getting at.
Yeah.
I was along for the ride with you.
You did. I let you in the passenger seat, and then you took the wheel.
Shotgun.
I mean, Dragon is going to be the real pivot here, because this Mountain Drake, and so we see here, nice little disengage, and this is better. Mammoth are actually together and playing pairs, right? And they're able to disengage this. Look at the flay. Oh, no, we got eyes elsewhere. So, Winterer just melts, by the way. Like, that's a Scion that's melting. And then Incursio really does save the day. See, There's a Baron dance going on, Dragon dance going on the back end.
Forget the highlights, let's make some more, is what these two teams are saying, as that next Dragon has spawned, and Legacy this time find themselves in a position to play on. Note that Wei is crashing that mid-wave, and it's the ultimate again. Hook does not connect, Dragon getting lower. This looks like soul point for Legacy now. What can they do with it? Is a Mountain Souls, there's a big shield to play around with. Winter once again, 1v5 falls on down.
Wow.
What can Incursio do? Lights out, he doesn't even get to use the death mark. Requiem, will that make its punch? I'm not too sure, but Stolder's low. Stolder's golden. Stolder's hoping for a dream. The 280 carries trying to survive. But they both fall on down. It's like Romeo and Juliet here, Jubes. It's a love affair between two carries.
Here we go.
And then it all ends with a Nautilus hook.
What a team fight. I mean, Incursio didn't even get his death mark off. He had the range to ulti the Vayne, I believe. But then Vayne tumbled into Invis, and then he was out of range when Vayne reappeared. So it's actually just a really well-played team fight from both ends. And this is how close the game is. I mean, that's with the Mountain Soul Skimmy. So, you know, it's one of those games where we'll just watch the replay here. So the hook misses. The channel from Sion misses. Goes onto Thresh. And watching Curcio just go to work. Then it's well played from Tri-Fruit, right? Tumbles there. Gets just out of Z ult range, and then Style probably gets a little bit baited because he thinks Incursio is still alive. The ult's coming through. Double Zhonya's, Romeo and Juliet. And how does the Romeo and Juliet story end?
Just like that, mate. Love on the Rift.
Yeah.
It's a sad ending, but an aggressive ending fitting the narrative of what we've hyped these two teams up to be, right? Evenly matched, love to punch on, love to get in each other's face. And 30 minutes in, we do find 22 kills apiece.
You know, with a composition that relies heavily on burst, this Mountain Drake actually has some pretty high value in this game, especially with a Scion and a Nautilus as well. So,
yeah.
Oh, okay, he's out. Guardian popped. But, Skimmy, in a game that's this close, right, where there's not really a big gold deficit, sometimes the Soul Dragon, when it's not like an Ocean or an Infernal that really, really helps you in the next team fight, it's quite dangerous. Because now you're putting Elder Drake on the table, and all it takes is one proper execution either side to get that Elder Dragon and potentially just win the game.
Feels like a bit of a game show, right? You know, you've not got too many lifelines left between the Baron and the Elder to play for. This could be the climatic ending to what has been a pretty exciting inaugural season here for the LCO. Legacy continue to try and push these side waves, but they've got to be careful because they've been caught on these side waves time and time again. Looks like Vision may be in their favor, and Mammoth are unsure if they're still hanging around.
I did tell you too, though, Legacy were a team exciting no matter who they're versing because of games like this, for reasons like this. Oh, Tri-Fruit took the Lantern. Sybil might be in trouble. Like, if Wei pulls the trigger here. So do they know Incursio's there? They do. They know he's on Vision. Just a Vision game, Vision denial game right now, and I don't think this is the play. You don't want to be starting Baron with this composition. They don't do it quick enough either. Hook.
Starts off with the supports. Down goes the ultimate. Lock them in place. The terrain is in your favor. Incursio doing whatever he can. They're all grouped up together. This could be a spin to win Ingo, but he's just put to sleep. He's fleeing and exhausted and just out of the fight before it even begins. The Requiem pops and two fall down. And now Mammoth are looking to run for the hills and live and hold on for their lives. But wait, soaking up everything and more, and it is Styled, who quietly has got himself 80 CS over his counterpart, with uptime able to showcase what that actually means.
But it's still a 3 for 3. Like, Incursio dies again, so Wei's done a very good job keeping Incursio on lockdown, right? You know, he's always got the tether on him, so when Incursio pops out of Deathmark, he's instantly feared, and he's not able to follow up with much damage. So again, it's like a best case scenario fight for Mammoth because it's a pure front to back, right? Incursio is not on a flank, he doesn't have backline access. He's able to flash forward and get onto Jungman, but the reality is, right, with the Karthus, you're still able to participate in the team fight when you're dead. They do a decent job in kiting off, but maybe Incursio's ultimate's better used on the Vayne. Better used on a target that he's actually going to be able to kill and take out of the fight. Right, maybe even the Nara at this point, but the Dead Man's Plate does make him a little more tanky, but Style just plays to his limits extremely well here. You have to be, you know, pretty confident and pretty comfortable on your champion to turn a team fight around like that, and Style and Sybil really putting in work there.
Really trying to keep this as close as possible. And it really has been what we're at, right? You know, we talk about the scoreline. There is no joke. The gold lead is basically dead even. Forget about those small margins between them. This is all coming down to who can manipulate vision better, who has the better comprehension of how to play to that situation. Quite honestly, Jubes, with a minute on the cards before the Zelda, who can claim those game-changing buffs?
Well, it's going to be an Elder flip. And it'll also be down to, like, some teams value giving over Elder, not value, right? But they take the trade. They take the lesser evil. They say, okay, you have Elder, we'll have Baron, we'll try wave clear. So it'll be interesting to see if a team opts in for that trade. And sometimes, like I said, they just feel that they can't contest the Elder Drake. But Legacy, they said, you know what, we don't care about vision on the Elder Drake, we'll start the Baron again.
Worth noting, both exhausts are down, so whether or not they've been tracking that, Incursio might be able to have a field day. They have not responded quick enough. That Baron is for sure gone, and now it is acquired to their hands. 2 buffs to play with. The same fight starting off once again. And Incursio opens up and removes the Vayne like he wanted to see. Stull gets in on the action, but they turn it around with a Carthus kill. There's the double kill. Remove the bot lane of Mammoth and let Faker do what Faker does best. 13 kills to his name, a triple kill. Give him the pentakill. Can we find it? It might not be the case, as it's just going to be a battle between both of the start carries on Legacy. And they will now, with the Baron buff, play around those respawn timers.
That might be game scheme. They got Baron buff, 25 minutes, that'd be a bit excessive. 25-second death timers. It's always a feel-bad moment when the Elder Drake's up, you've done all the work to get there, and potentially you win the game without it. But they won't be complaining. They get the win. Are they able to end? 10 seconds now on the Vayne.
Plenty of damage between these three. A lot of attack damage more than anything to shred through these structures to put themselves into a situation like that. As the LCO comes to a close, Legacy will get themselves one final victory and end the split 4-10.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to see a damage statistic after that game, because it's not normal for a Zed, or traditionally Zeds don't top the charts, but he was doing so much AoE damage in those team fights, and honestly a little bit surprising. Didn't think the Zed would prove to be this valuable. However, they did a very good job in snowballing and getting him ahead. And Mac, what do you think about that one, mate?
Mate, that was certainly something. And can I just say, today has to have been the most entertaining day we've seen in the LCO so far. So it was a beautiful day to round things off. But that game in particular, my Fakerzio, not only with the first blood, but he's finishing strong as well. You know, it's just a bloody long old battle. And it looked like Mammoth did everything correct until the end when they went into that final team fight. You know, Baron was gone, Legacy finally secured it, and then they're running in. But it looked like they had no idea what they were doing, and it was the only time in the game it looked like that as well. So you can see that Mammoth have just gone like from a 0 to hero team. They're almost taken down Legacy. Another development team really putting their foot down and showing that they can be spectacular. I was hoping that this game would go for another 10 minutes, honestly. And look, when you said there was 25-minute respawn timers, Jubes, I was like, oh, geez, are we that deep in the game already?
Nah, I mean, it was just a really good game in the sense that, like, I think it's what every fan wants when they watch a League of Legends game, you know? Sometimes not the prettiest, but it's the most exciting, you know? It's just team fight after team fight, mechanics max, like, Incursio doing work in the back line. Look at Shyfree just starting around those teams.
They're playing rugby, mate. It's a scrum.
Yeah.
Headbutting one another and saying who can come out on top.
It's just run straight. Run straight, and we'll see. You know what I mean? Both teams team fighting with compositions that, well, you know, from Legacy's perspective, they're actually team fighting with a composition that they probably don't want to be team fighting with, right? When you look at Elise and Zed, 31 minutes into the game, but they just made it work. I mean, the front to back positioning was just really, really clean here from Legacy, and it was a sight to see. But you know, if you're a Mammoth fan, you got to watch this game back and think, okay, like a lot better. You know, what we've been working on is definitely paying off and definitely showing in these games. Now, can we carry this on?
I hope they can, honestly. Like, that was so good to watch. You know, Split 2 coming up, and it's really high hopes both for Mammoth and for Gravitas. I think that means that Gravitas are going to be one ahead in the end because they got the win today, and Mammoth actually end up finishing last. I thought this was worthy of another victory for Mammoth, and I thought it could have been nice to, you know, have them tie down in that 7th spot. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and Legacy get their 4th win on the board after a spectacular performance. Good to see, you know, at least Elise got some good playtime as well for Sybil there. We didn't really get to see a whole lot of that, even though it is, you know, his main champion on paper. He's done a whole lot with some other champs as well, but good to see he had a chance to flex it here in the early game. And it looked like a lot of the time in the team fight, he was the one that survived as well. He sort of had the get out of jail free card with dropping the E there on Elise, you know, in the spider form. And it was really interesting to see how Fakerzio went in the team fights as well. There was points where you look at him and like, man, this dude's got no HP, he's done, and then he somehow, you know, dropped the bloody copy of himself, just disappear away into the shadows, drop the ult at the perfect moments. And, you know, as you mentioned, you know, in that second last fight, he dropped it on the Karthus, and you're like, I think that's wrong. And then the next fight, he drops it on the right person. All of a sudden, fights won, games won. So there you have it. Now, Nat, look, that's our thoughts. Can I hear your thoughts quickly before we have a quick chat to the winner for the final time for groups?
My mind could not keep up in a sense with that game. There was so much back and forth, and it was so close. I was like, okay, Legacy isn't going to lose, like, isn't going to win, so now I'm going to have to, you know, think about Mammoth questions for the interview. And then I'm like, hold on, Mammoth isn't winning. Like, now Legacy is going to, so it was good. It was just an all-round entertaining game that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Hoping for the triple upset. I was like, that'd be the perfect way to end this split on the group stage. But look, Nat, who do you have for us down on the sidelines?
I actually have Incurzio joining me for the post game. Thank you so much, and congratulations on a win.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't know if you can see, but production has changed your name to Fakerzio, so we've upped the ante. You're definitely now forever known as Fakerzio. You have to ditch the Incurzio. But talk me through that game, because I said it just before, it was a hell of a close game. There were a lot of kills and some game-changing team fights for both sides.
All right, well, we were kind of expecting that type of comp from draft, but since it's our last game, obviously, and that's the end of Split 1, we were like, all right, let's do something crazy, let's have some fun. But obviously still treating it seriously, having a bit of fun though. But yeah, somewhere through that middle of that game, we were a little bit nervous. We're just like, we actually can lose this after a couple of throws. But we were pretty confident going into it, and we were really confident early on. And then, yeah, some crazy shit happened and it went bad.
What do you think was like the main factor to why you guys weren't like absolutely dominating that game? Like, where were you guys throwing and going wrong?
There's a lot of reasons, I think, but I think we didn't have a lot of practice going into that, because obviously we were doing a bit of a random comp because it's the last game, but I think, yeah, just a bit of lack of practice with that type of comp that we had, but also we're playing we're playing Elise Zed, that's like really, like anything can happen, you know, so we definitely did a little bit of iffy throws, and those are like the main things that made it go bad in my opinion.
Yeah, right. Anything could have gone, but you're lucky enough that it went in your favor. There is one specific play I would love to know the communications that was going on in the team and the thoughts going through your heads. It was the dragon fight where the only person left alive was a Melg, and I want to know what the team was doing during it.
Is that when everyone like was just randomly dying? Yeah, okay, I'll tell you exactly when. Oh yes, guys! Oh no! Oh yes! Oh no! Like straight up, when we were just like about to die or about to kill someone, we're just like, oh, what's going on? It's a roller coaster. Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it?
It was. I feel like that's exactly how we were. I'm like, oh, they're living, now they're dying. But Incurzio, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for playing such an entertaining game tonight. And congratulations again on the win.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you again. All right.
See ya.
See you later, Fakerzio. Get out of here. You've had enough of the mic this time.
Production's so good with the name change.
That's pretty smooth. They deserve a pay rise. I'll probably pay them.
You'll pay them now.
Someone clip it.
Don't clip it. They're gonna clip it now too. I should have
will.
said it.
Yeah, they'll put it on Twitter. Beautiful. Now we are. Now that Jubes is paying everyone's bills, that's good to know. Now moving forward, we do have to have a quick chat about play of the day. I want to take bets on this one because I know what it is, but I'm going to tell you. Oh, actually, I'll go last so I can give you an honourable mention. But you know, Jubes first. What do you think your play of the day is?
It might be Only's flash into the wall on Udyr.
Okay.
If it's not that one, then it's got to be one of the Z plays. There's too many. Like, it got to be fake Curtio somewhere along the lines. And if it's not, then what are we doing? What are we really doing?
What are we really doing? All right, well, Skimmy, what about your thoughts? What do you think play of the day is?
I think it might be Puma getting a triple kill on Vayne, just running everybody down. Yeah, I quite like that Puma play. The OG from 2020 as a Vayne player, and he's just he's making it meta now. Everybody wants a bit of it.
Okay, what about you, Nat? Any plays of the day?
This is why I don't like going last. They always say everything that I'm gonna say before I get to say it. I was gonna say the only flash, and I was like, it has to be something. There were so many aces in the last game we just saw. There's potentially that. Then obviously the triple kill with Puma, or it could just be the Amumu. I mean, that decoy absolutely stomped in lane. That's all I'm gonna say with the Amumu.
Yeah, pretty sick play. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is straight away. I'm going to say honourable mention, because I think player of the day should be Gravitas beating Pentanet and not allowing them to have the perfect season, but that is not the player of the day. The player of the day is Skimmy's guess, which is the order team fight where they turn it around. You got Puma on the triple with the Vayne. It's absolutely perfectly played. And
so they've absolutely gone onto the Scion there, and I can't believe it. Sorry for cutting you off there, Mac, but it's really important. The Scion gets onto the Scanner, absolutely impales him. Halo goes into the death run, but he's going to revive. Don't worry about that, but look at Puma on the back end. I can't believe it. The Violet goes down. Alador's being chased. It is absolutely the playoff dream for Order. Can they take down Peace? Halo gets run down by the Vayne. It is going to be a 3-play for the Vayne. And if you want to see it again, then Puma's on the back end, flashes the wall, goes in again. Alador, where you going, champion? Straight to the Shadow Realm. Lisa, not long for the world, and Halo. I can see you, Halo, because he is absolutely dead.
Amazing.
I'm going to have to start playing
performance.
Jubes, and then Jubes will play production. I'm out of a job, mate. He's too good.
Oh, mate, do you have any shows coming up, Jubes? Because I really want to book some tickets.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a freelancer, so if anyone wants to reach out, so anyone, feel free to reach out to me.
We said it before that Jubes is going to do the one-man show, but not only is he going to host, interview, play-by-play, and analyze, he's also now going to do the break music too for us.
Yep, halftime show. It's all sorted. This man, one-man band. Now, let's have a look at where the standings are sitting. Now we're finally at the end of the group stage. Of course, you got Pentanet up there with now the blemished record, 13-1, but still that's a pretty good record to have a blemish on. Direwolves in second, tied with Peace at 10-4 apiece, so I dare say we will see a tiebreaker there. Order in fourth, 8-6, and then the Chiefs 7-7, dead even in that fifth spot there. So this is your playoffs 5 teams. And then, you know, honorable mention to Legacy. They kept it entertaining. They're in the 6th spot. Gravitas with the mega upset today in 7th, putting their 3rd win on the board. And Mammoth almost getting across the line to get their 2nd win, but coming in dead last. They did get 1 win, however. So, look, flipping the score there of Pentanets with 1 win, 13 losses. But damn, they kept people on their toes and did a very good job. So, look, I don't have a wooden spoon on me. Could give it to them, but I don't think they actually deserve the wooden spoon, unless it's a golden one, because they've done a very good job, even though they are in that last position.
I'm a little bit upset that Peace did lose, because I would have loved to have seen the tables literally inverted. You would have the same score for Chiefs and Order, then Legacy and Direwolves would have been inverted, and then it would have been Peace and Gravitas, and then Mammoth and PGG. It would have been perfect, and it would have been so aesthetically pleasing.
It really would have been. I don't know if that's... I feel like that'd be scripted if we got to that point. Anyway, let's have a quick look at how the playoffs are going to play out. All right, we've got a bracket for it, all bloody ready, and, you know, little asterisks here. So, with the Peace and Direwolves one, you know, it's the same game. They still have to play a tiebreaker, I believe, tomorrow, and that will decide on, you know, who gets the pick of the sides, etc. But they will still be playing against one another no matter what to kick things off. Winner of that goes straight up to play Pentanet in round 2. And then on the other side of round 1 as well, you got Order and Chiefs in the lower part. So they'll be playing the loser of that upper bracket match. So, Juice, anything interesting here you want to have a quick elaborate on?
Well, they're all interesting. Like, it's actually too hard to pick because they're all interesting for different reasons. It's like the Order Chief game, right? You probably thought prior to today, it's Chief favored, but you know, I'm going out on a limb, say maybe it's Order favored at this point, huh? Yeah. And with what they've shown us, at least, And then Peace Direwolves, I mean, we're in for a blinder, aren't we, with that one? In for an absolute blinder. Get the sunglasses on because the future's too bright.
Mate, and it's all best of fives as well. That's going to be crazy. So, you know, some of these players haven't even played best of fives before. So, you know, you got at least 3 chances, if not 5, at your opponents to make sure you can go into the next stage with a big smile on your face or out or to the lower side of the bracket. So
Maybe
you know,
that's what makes the Chief and Order game even more interesting, is because we just heard that there are a bunch of Order players that haven't done best of fives before. So no matter how strong they look today, maybe they just don't know how to manage themselves in a best of 5, energy-wise.
All right, cool. So that brings us to the end of groups. Quick open floor before I wrap things up here. Do you want to say anything to any of the teams, Skimmy?
Well, I'm really curious, coupling on to Jubes' point, right? The fact is that Chiefs and Order are tied head-to-head, so are Direwolves and Peace. So coming into it, it's kind of fitting that these are your entry playoff games. Sure, there's going to be that tiebreaker that happens tomorrow, but those games have always been so competitive. So throw them into a best-of-5 format, and we'll get to see the adjustments made on the fly, and we'll get to see truly, you know, what those power rankings should look like. But as far as LCO's gone, I think it's been an absolute success. We've had so many of these interesting stories from week 1 to 5 with growth, with new talent, and the showcasing that, hey, we've sent a lot of really good players overseas, and no doubt we'll continue to send more.
Well, that's it. 3 teams out of the mix, 5 survive. It is time for the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, go have a good sleep, and we'll see you when playoffs begin. It's been a good night.
Here on Shock. Shock's managed to survive up to 50%. Clear just takes out Israel straight away. The Eddie carry of the Chiefs is gone. It's a split fight between 2 different angles. Swaif is disengaged into the enemy jungle, and the rest of Chiefs are left to the Wolves. The Wolfpack will commit. The Wolfpack will devour. And now in a straight 4v4, Kese on the flank trying to take out Clay. A beautiful flash! Sidesteps that one. He's been playing weak side all game long, but he wants to be the hero, and he certainly looks to be the hero. Hits the hook shot, gets the stun, knocked up in the air, tries to take down a double. He finds it. Penton actually turning around before the TP even connects. Poltron's baited his team. The magical journey to disengage away. Sidesteps the snipe. Back to the safety near the turret. By Panther, ultimate ramping. Looking to flash on top and find himself a double kill. And they turn around the gank attempt.
Raiders caught, no flash.
He can get stunned in the wall right now. The stun connects, but needs to follow up. Poltron jumps across, down to 50. He's dead. It's another shutdown here for Safa. Both Eddie carries find themselves in the ball. And Safa, it's his playground. Forget Decoy's playground. He's been bullied off. Now he's on a flank. Sidesteps the knock up and hits the exhaust straight away. Aladoric uses him as a delivery system. Jumps in, jumps out, survives, lives to tell the tale, and ensures that Appy can take down Order's star. AD carry. The revival after it all is so clean, and Chungy wishes he didn't hit that one. Have they baited themselves into a false hope? Vital 20 put his ultimate. He's gone! The revival from Zillion, it's not there. A second kill, a shockwave for a third. Puma finds 2. Halo goes golden, but it's Order that are looking for gold. They have not responded quick enough. That Baron is for sure gone, and now it is acquired to their hands. 2 buffs to play with. The same fight starting off once again, and Koso opens up and removes the vein like he wanted to see.
Yep.
Stull gets in on the action, but they turn it around with the Carter's kill. There's the double kill, remove the bot lane of Mammoth, and let Faker do what Faker does best. 13 kills was named a triple kill, given the pentakill.
It's already done. You can't scare me, 'cause it's already done. You can't hurt me, you can't harm me, cause it's already done. Already done.